What if I told you that most people never get what they want? Not because they aim too low, but because they chase too desperately. They visualize, they hope, they beg life to change. And the harder they chase, the more resistance they create. Stoicism teaches something radically different. The Stoics never tried to manifest outcomes. They focused on becoming the kind of person outcomes naturally follow. No begging, no wishing, no illusions. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire under constant pressure, betrayal, and loss. Yet he never asked life for ease. He aligned his character with discipline, virtue, and control, and life responded. Modern culture says, want it badly enough and it will come. Stoicism replies, build yourself properly and it becomes inevitable. In this video, you'll learn 8 Stoic rules that don't rely on motivation, positive thinking, or blind faith. These rules rewire how you act, how you choose, and how you endure, until results stop being something you chase and start being something that arrives. Stay with me. This isn't about attracting fantasies, it's about becoming undeniable. Rule 1. Stop wanting. Start becoming. Most people think their problem is that they don't want something badly enough. But the truth is harsher. Wanting is often the problem. Wanting puts you in a posture of weakness. It trains your mind to focus on what you lack instead of what you are building. When wanting becomes your default state, every action carries subtle desperation. You rush, you compare, you doubt yourself the moment progress feels slow. Stoicism sees this clearly. The Stoics never organized their lives around desire. They organized them around character. Marcus Aurelius did not wake up asking what he could gain from the day. He asked how he should act, what kind of man the moment required him to be. This is the first shift you must make. Life does not respond to the intensity of desire. Life responds to the consistency of being. You can want confidence, but confidence only forms when your actions repeatedly prove you can trust yourself. You can want respect, but respect appears only when your standards hold under pressure. You can want success, but success stays only with those who can carry responsibility without collapsing. This is why so many people get lucky once and then lose everything. They wanted the outcome. They never became the person. Stoicism reverses the question that most people ask. Instead of asking, how do I get what I want? You ask, who would naturally have this and how do they live daily? That question removes fantasy. It replaces hope with responsibility. Becoming is quieter than wanting. Becoming is slower. Becoming gives you no emotional reward up front, and that's exactly why it works. When you focus on becoming, you stop negotiating with discomfort. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop explaining delays. You raise your standards and let repetition do its work. A Stoic does not chase outcomes. He builds habits that make outcomes inevitable. This is uncomfortable because it exposes a hard truth. If your life hasn't changed, it's not because life is unfair. It's because your daily behavior hasn't changed enough. Not dramatically, consistently. Ask yourself this honestly. If everything you wanted arrived tomorrow, would you be able to keep it? Would your discipline support it? Would your habits protect it? If not, Stoicism doesn't shame you. It gives you a path. Today's practice is simple and revealing. Ask yourself this question and don't soften it. If I were already the person I want to become, what would I do today? Then do one of those things without telling anyone. No announcement, no validation, no emotional reward. Because the moment your actions start matching the person you want to be, wanting loses its power. And when wanting fades, something unexpected happens. Life stops resisting you. Opportunities stop feeling distant. Results begin to align naturally. Not because you wished harder, but because you finally became someone ready to receive. Rule 2. Control, the only thing that matters. Most people believe their life is controlled by circumstances, by other people's behavior, by luck, timing, or unfair events. Stoicism dismantles this belief immediately. According to the Stoics, almost everything you worry about is outside your control, and that is exactly why it drains you. You argue with reality. You replay conversations. You emotionally react to things you were never meant to command, and each reaction hands your power away. Epictetus was brutally clear. There is only one thing that truly belongs to you: your judgment and your response. Everything else is borrowed. This is where most lives quietly unravel. Someone insults you and your mood collapses. Plans change, and frustration hijacks your day. A setback appears and doubt takes over your decisions. Same event, same trigger. Total loss of inner authority. Stoicism does not ask you to suppress emotion or pretend things don't hurt. It asks you to pause before reacting, to recognize that between stimulus and response, there is a narrow space, and that space is where freedom lives. Most people never enter that space. They react automatically. They justify emotional outbursts. They confuse impulse with honesty, and then they wonder why life feels chaotic. Here is the Stoic truth. You don't gain power by controlling events. You gain power by refusing to let events control you. Two people can face the same failure. One becomes bitter, reactive, and distracted. The other becomes calm, focused, and adaptive. Same world, different inner commands. When you master your reactions, your life stabilizes. You stop wasting energy on outrage. You stop fighting what has already happened. You start making decisions from clarity instead of emotion. This composure is rare, and people feel it immediately. They trust those who are not easily shaken. They respect those who don't overreact. They follow those who remain steady under pressure, not because they are cold, but because they are controlled. Ask yourself honestly, how often do your emotions make decisions for you? How many problems were made worse because you reacted too fast? How much energy have you lost trying to control what was never yours? Stoicism offers you something radical: inner sovereignty. Today's practice is simple but demanding. The next time something triggers you, anger, fear, frustration, do nothing for 5 seconds. Take one slow breath, then say silently, "This is not mine to control. My response is." Then choose deliberately, not perfectly, not dramatically, consciously. Over time, this changes everything. Your emotions stop owning you. Your reactions stop sabotaging you. Your presence becomes calm and grounded. And when your inner world is no longer chaotic, the outer world begins to reorganize. Not because you forced it, but because you finally took control of the only thing that ever mattered. Rule 3. Earn, don't chase. Outcomes. Most people believe effort means chasing results. They push harder, talk louder, want faster, and mistake urgency for progress. Stoicism exposes the flaw in this mindset. When you chase outcomes, you place yourself beneath them. You signal need instead of readiness, and the need is unstable. It leads to shortcuts, emotional decisions, and collapse the moment pressure appears. The Stoics understood something most people miss. Outcomes are consequences, not targets. They follow character, discipline, and consistency. They cannot be forced, and they cannot be held without earning. Think about it. People who chase validation appear insecure. People who chase money panic when it slows. People who chase success burn out when attention fades. Chasing creates tension, and tension repels. Marcus Aurelius never chased admiration. He focused on duty. Epictetus never chased influence. He focused on mastery of self, and history responded. Here is the uncomfortable truth. If you have to chase something, you're not ready to keep it. That's why sudden success often disappears. That's why unearned confidence collapses. That's why people reach goals and feel empty. They skipped the earning phase. Stoicism reverses the question entirely. Instead of asking, "How do I get this?" ask, "What standards would make this outcome inevitable?" Not possible. Not lucky. Inevitable. Respect is earned by consistency under pressure. Wealth is earned by discipline when no one is watching. Confidence is earned by keeping promises to yourself, especially the small ones. This is where most people quit. Earning is slow, quiet, invisible. There is no applause, no immediate feedback, just repetition. But repetition builds gravity. When you earn instead of chase, you stop needing outcomes to define you. Your posture changes, your voice steadies, your decisions sharpen. People sense this before you ever say a word. Opportunities move toward people who don't beg. Trust forms around people who don't rush. Respect sticks to people who don't explain themselves. Ask yourself honestly, where are you chasing instead of building? Where are you forcing results instead of upgrading habits? Where are you focused on reward instead of requirements? Stoicism does not kill ambition, it disciplines it. Today's practice is simple and confronting. Choose one outcome you deeply want. Then write down the daily standards required to deserve it. Not to get it, but to sustain it. Then forget the outcome for the next 7 days. Focus only on execution. Show up when it's boring. Do the work when no one notices. No tracking, no announcing, no emotional bargaining, just earning. Because when you stop chasing outcomes, they stop running from you. And when your character becomes solid enough, life responds, not out of kindness, but out of inevitability. Rule 4. Detach from results. Commit to the process. Most people don't fail because they lack effort. They fail because they are emotionally attached to results. They check outcomes constantly. They measure progress too early. They let short-term feedback decide their mood, confidence, and discipline. Stoicism identifies this as a hidden weakness. The Stoics made a clear distinction between effort, which belongs to you, and results, which do not. When you attach your peace to results, you place your inner stability in something unpredictable. One bad day, one delay, one setback, and your motivation collapses. Marcus Aurelius warned against this trap. He wrote that your task is not to control what follows your actions, but to ensure that your actions are right. When the work is done correctly, the rest must be released. Here is the paradox most people never grasp. The more you obsess over results, the worse your results become. Obsession creates tension. Tension creates impatience. Impatience leads to shortcuts and inconsistency. Stoicism offers a different path. Detached commitment. You choose a direction. You define the correct process. Then you commit to that process without emotionally negotiating with outcomes. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't cling. When you stop checking constantly, your mind settles. When you stop measuring too early, your actions become cleaner. When you stop reacting to every fluctuation, momentum builds naturally. This is why disciplined people appear calm. They are not outcome dependent. They judge success by execution, not by reward. Think about your own life. How many times have you abandoned a good habit because results came slowly? How often have you doubted yourself instead of trusting repetition? How much energy have you wasted reacting to short-term noise? Stoicism asks you to trade obsession for devotion. Devotion to showing up. Devotion to correct effort. Devotion to improvement without guarantees. Today's practice is simple and demanding. Choose one area of your life where results make you anxious. Then define a clear daily process you can execute regardless of mood or feedback. For the next 7 days, judge yourself by one metric only. Did you follow the process? Not progress, not praise, not outcomes. If you showed up, you succeeded. If you didn't, you learned. This shift rebuilds self-trust. You stop riding emotional highs and lows. You stop sabotaging consistency with impatience. And something unexpected happens. When your effort becomes steady and clean, results start appearing on their own. Not because you chase them harder, but because you finally stopped interfering. Stoicism doesn't promise fast rewards. It promises reliable progress. And reliable progress, sustained long enough, makes outcomes unavoidable. Rule 5. Voluntary discomfort makes you magnetic. Modern life promises comfort as the highest reward. Easy food, easy entertainment, easy opinions, easy escapes. And slowly, almost invisibly, comfort weakens people. Stoicism takes the opposite path. The Stoics believed that voluntary discomfort was not punishment, but training. They chose difficulty on purpose so that life could never intimidate them. Cold, hunger, fatigue, silence, discipline. These were not extremes. They were reminders. Reminders that you are stronger than convenience. Here's what most people don't realize. Comfort makes you fragile. Discomfort makes you solid. When you avoid discomfort, your confidence becomes conditional. You feel strong only when circumstances cooperate. The moment pressure appears, your identity shakes. You hesitate. You negotiate with yourself. You retreat. The Stoic does not wait for hardship to arrive. He introduces it deliberately, not to suffer, but to build trust with himself. Every time you do something difficult on purpose, you send your nervous system a message. I am capable. Every time you avoid difficulty, you send the opposite message. Over time, these messages shape who you become. Think about it. The man who trains when tired moves differently. The man who speaks truth when it's uncomfortable carries quiet authority. The man who resists pleasure when no one is watching develops an inner edge. Others can't explain. This is what people call presence. This is what people mistake for charisma. But it's neither. It's self-respect forged through discomfort. Seneca wrote that a man should occasionally live simply, eat little, sleep rough, strip life down. Not because he lacked wealth, but so he would never fear losing it. Voluntary discomfort removes fear at its root. And fearlessness is magnetic. Not loud, not aggressive, just undeniable. People trust those who are not ruled by comfort. Opportunities move toward those who don't collapse under friction. Life opens doors to those who can carry weight. Ask yourself honestly, where has comfort made you soft? Where do you choose ease over growth? Where have you been avoiding the very thing that would strengthen you? Stoicism does not demand extremes. It demands intentional resistance. Today's practice is simple and revealing. Choose one small discomfort to embrace daily for the next week. Wake up earlier than you want. Train when you feel lazy. Have the conversation you've been postponing. Say no to an unnecessary pleasure. Not to prove anything, not to punish yourself, but to remind yourself who is in control. At first, your mind will resist. It will argue. It will rationalize. That's normal. That resistance is the exact muscle you are training. And then something changes. You stop needing motivation. You stop fearing challenges. You stop negotiating with weakness. Because when you can endure discomfort by choice, life loses its leverage over you. And when life loses leverage over you, you become calm. And when you are calm, people notice. That is the quiet power of voluntary discomfort. And that power attracts everything that matters. Rule 6. Speak less. Do more. Most people talk too much about what they're going to do. They explain their plans, they announce their intentions, they defend their choices, they seek understanding before results exist. Stoicism sees this as a quiet leak of power. The Stoics believed that words without action weaken resolve. Every unnecessary explanation dilutes focus. Every announcement invites doubt, judgment, and interference. When you speak too early, you turn a private discipline into a public performance, and performances collapse under pressure. Silence, on the other hand, concentrates energy. Marcus Aurelius warned himself not to waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That wasn't poetry. It was instruction. The more you talk, the less you act. The more you act, the less you need to talk. Think about how this plays out today. People announce goals to feel progress before doing the work. They explain themselves to avoid discomfort. They justify delays instead of correcting behavior. And slowly, action is replaced by narration. Stoicism cuts through this habit with precision. Let results speak. Silence is not weakness. It is restraint. It is the decision to protect your momentum from noise, internal and external. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop asking for permission. You stop negotiating your standards. You stop leaking confidence through words. There is a reason calm, effective people speak simply. They don't need to be convinced. They don't need to be persuaded. They don't need to be understood immediately. They move first. When you reduce speech and increase action, something powerful happens inside you. Your identity shifts from someone who intends to someone who executes. You begin trusting yourself more because you no longer rely on words to feel capable. Others notice this shift too. People trust those who don't over-explain. They respect those who don't announce. They follow those whose actions are consistent and quiet, not because silence is mysterious, but because it signals control. Ask yourself honestly, how often do you talk instead of act? How often do you explain instead of improve? How much energy have you spent narrating a future instead of building it? Stoicism doesn't ask you to become mute. It asks you to become selective. Speak when the action is complete. Speak when clarity is required. Speak when your words add weight, not noise. Today's practice is simple and revealing. For the next 7 days, stop explaining your goals. Stop announcing changes. Stop defending your boundaries. Replace every explanation with one quiet action. If you want respect, act with consistency. If you want change, alter behavior. If you want power, reduce noise. At first, silence will feel uncomfortable. You'll feel misunderstood. That's normal. Silence removes the crutch of validation, but then something steadies. You move with less friction. You think with more clarity. You act with more precision. And slowly, your life begins to reorganize around what you do, not what you say. Because when action speaks, words become unnecessary. And when words become unnecessary, power returns to where it belongs. In your hands. Rule 7. Live as if time is running out. Most people live as if time is endless. They postpone the important conversation. They delay the difficult decision. They tell themselves there will be a better moment to change. Stoicism calls this the most dangerous illusion of all. The Stoics lived with a constant awareness of mortality, not in a morbid way, but in a clarifying one. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. Not someday in theory, but inevitably, without warning. And that awareness was not meant to create fear. It was meant to create urgency with dignity. When you forget death, you waste life. Think about how much energy is lost to distraction, hesitation, and avoidance. How many days are spent half present? How many decisions are delayed because discomfort feels inconvenient? Stoicism cuts through that fog. If this were your last year alive, what would you stop tolerating? If this were your last month, what would suddenly matter less? If today were not guaranteed, how differently would you act? Death awareness strips life down to what is essential. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you could leave life right now, and that fact should determine what you do, say, and think. Not tomorrow. Not after things settle down. Now, this doesn't mean rushing recklessly. It means removing procrastination disguised as patience. When you live with urgency, you stop bargaining with weakness. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop numbing yourself with distractions that don't matter. Urgency sharpens choices. You speak more honestly. You commit more fully. You waste less time on people, habits, and thoughts that drain you. And here's the paradox most people miss. Living with death in mind doesn't make life darker. It makes it richer. Colors become sharper. Moments feel heavier. Actions feel meaningful because you're no longer sleepwalking. Ask yourself this, without softening the truth. What have you been postponing because you assume you have time? What courage have you delayed because fear feels safer today? What version of yourself have you been promising to become eventually? Stoicism offers no comfort here, only clarity. Today's practice is confronting, but liberating. Imagine this is the last year you get to live as you. Same body, same circumstances, same responsibilities. Now ask, what would I stop doing immediately? What would I start doing without apology? What would I take seriously for the first time? Then choose one action today that reflects that urgency. Not dramatic, not symbolic, practical. Send the message, end the habit, begin the discipline. Tell the truth. You don't need to change your whole life today. You need to stop living as if time owes you another chance. Because one day, it won't. And when you live as if time is running out, you stop wasting it, you stop drifting, you stop delaying, you start choosing. And when your choices align with what truly matters, life responds with a strange generosity. Not because you demanded more time, but because you finally respected the time you have. Rule 8. Choose virtue over applause. Most people are not ruled by logic. They are ruled by applause, approval, likes, praise, being seen as good, smart, successful, admirable. And slowly, without noticing, they begin living for the reaction instead of for what is right. Stoicism treats this as a dangerous trap. The Stoics understood that external validation is unstable. It shifts with trends, moods, and opinions. The moment you anchor your behavior to applause, you hand control of your character to the crowd. And crowds are never consistent, never wise, and never loyal. Marcus Aurelius warned himself repeatedly not to perform for others, not because recognition is evil, but because virtue loses its strength when it becomes a performance. Here is the hard truth. If you need applause to act correctly, you will eventually act incorrectly to keep the applause. You will soften your standards. You will compromise your values. You will delay the truth to stay liked. And over time, you will feel hollow, even if the world is clapping. Stoicism offers a harder, quieter path. Choose virtue even when no one sees. Virtue, to the Stoics, was not moral decoration. It was an alignment, acting in accordance with reason, integrity, courage, and self-respect, regardless of outcome, especially when it costs you something. Think about it. Doing the right thing when it's popular is easy. Doing the right thing when it's invisible is rare, and rarity is where power lives. When you choose virtue over applause, something profound shifts inside you. Your identity stops depending on feedback. You no longer need to explain yourself. You no longer feel pulled apart by others' expectations. You become internally consistent, and that consistency creates a kind of gravity. People trust those who don't chase approval. They respect those who act from principle. They listen to those who don't need to be liked. Not because you demand respect, but because your behavior earns it quietly. Ask yourself honestly, where have you chosen approval over integrity? Where have you stayed silent to remain comfortable? Where have you adjusted your values to fit in? Stoicism doesn't condemn you for this. It reminds you that every moment is a chance to realign. Today's practice is simple and private. Choose one virtuous action you can take today that no one will reward you for. Do the right thing without announcing it. Keep a promise no one is tracking. Hold a boundary without explaining it. Act with discipline when no one is watching. Let it be unseen. Because the Stoics knew something modern culture has forgotten. Character is built in silence. Strength is forged without witnesses. And the life you want arrives not when you impress others, but when you can respect yourself. When virtue becomes your compass, applause loses its power. And when applause loses its power, you become free. Free to act, free to choose, free to live in alignment. And that alignment, quiet, steady, unshakable, is what ultimately draws everything else to you. What you've just heard is not a promise of quick success or effortless rewards. It's a reminder of something older, harder, and far more reliable. Stoicism doesn't teach you to chase what you want. It teaches you to become the kind of person life responds to. You learned that wanting weakens you, but becoming strengthens you. That control begins inside, not in circumstances. That outcomes are earned, not chased. That the process matters more than the result. That voluntary discomfort builds quiet power. That silence protects momentum. That time is limited and should be honored. And that virtue, not applause, is the true compass. These rules are not theories, they are practices. So don't try to apply all 8 at once. Choose one rule that challenges you the most. Practice it in silence for the next 7 days. No announcements, no motivation speeches, just action. Let discipline replace hope. Let alignment replace desperation. Let consistency do what force never could. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. Not to comment impulsively, but to decide how you'll live differently after it ends. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your attention matters, and I don't take it lightly. If you're ready to continue building strength, clarity, and self-mastery through Stoic wisdom, make sure to stay connected. I'll see you in the next video.